You have seen her, the woman who claims she is 72, yet her hair is a cascading curtain of chestnut or raven black without a single bottle of dye in her bathroom cabinet. You look at her and wonder, is she lying? Is it a wig? Or is she a genetic anomaly? But here is the shocking truth. Her hair follicles are simply behaving as if they are still 25 because she has consciously or unconsciously kept a specific biological switch turned on. While the rest of us accept the fading of our color as an inevitable slide into old age, she is living proof that the pigment factories in your scalp don't have to shut down just because you've celebrated a certain number of birthdays. The reality is that going gray is not a passive process of running out of ink. It is an active biological failure. It is a signal that your body is prioritizing survival over vanity, shutting down the energy intensive process of melanin production because it thinks you are under siege. But what if I told you that you could convince your body the siege is over? What if you could flip that switch back on? Today, we are not talking about covering up the gray. We are talking about the deep cellular biochemistry that keeps the color vibrant from the root. We are going to dissect the lifestyle, the diet, and the hidden habits of that ageless woman backed by hard science so you can stop masking the problem and start fixing the factory. Before we unlock these secrets, if you are someone who believes that aging should be a journey of strength rather than decline, consider subscribing to our community. We dig for the answers that standard checkups often miss. And I am curious, where in the world are you watching from today? Drop your city or country in the comments. It is always inspiring to see our global family growing. Let's begin our journey at the very root of the issue, literally. To understand why our mystery woman has retained her color, we have to look at the chemistry set inside her hair follicles. The most common reason for hair turning white isn't that you stop producing color, it's that you start bleaching it from the inside out. It sounds like science fiction, but it is a biological fact. Your hair cells naturally produce hydrogen peroxide. Yes, the same stuff you use to disinfect cuts as a byproduct of metabolism. In a youthful body, you have a superhero enzyme called Catalase that breaks this bleach down into harmless water and oxygen. But as we age, catalase levels drop. A landmark study published in the FACEB Journal, Federation of American Societies for Experimental Biology, detailed this mechanism precisely, showing that senile hair graying is largely due to the massive accumulation of hydrogen peroxide, which literally bleaches the hair pigment from the inside because there isn't enough catalase to stop it. Our 70-year-old with a dark hair, her body is likely teeming with catalase. She hasn't let her levels drop. Now, you can't drink catalase, but you can eat the foods that stimulate its production. She is likely consuming a diet rich in catalase promoters, onions, garlic, radishes, and cruciferous vegetables like broccoli. Imagine your hair follicle is a tiny room filling up with bleach smoke. These vegetables open the windows and clear the air. So, your first actionable step is to incorporate an anti-bleach food into your daily meal plan. Even a simple garnish of raw onions or a side of steamed broccoli acts as the cleanup crew for your follicles. Now, let's move seamlessly from the cleanup crew to the factory workers. The pigment in your hair, melanin, doesn't just appear. It is manufactured by an enzyme called tyrosinase. Think of tyrosinase as the artist painting your hair strand by strand. But this artist cannot work without a specific paintbrush, and that paintbrush is copper. Without adequate copper, tyrosinase goes on strike and the hair grows out white. It is a simple supply chain issue. A fascinating study published in Biological Trace Element Research compared the trace element levels in people with premature gray hair against those with normal hair. The results were stark. Those with early graying had significantly lower serum copper concentrations. The woman who has kept her color into her 70s is almost certainly not copper deficient. She probably enjoys foods that the modern Western diet has largely abandoned, things like organ meats, specifically beef liver, which is nature's multivitamin, or perhaps she loves spirulina, dark chocolate, and shiitake mushrooms. She is feeding the enzyme that paints her hair. However, a word of caution here, you don't want to just pop a synthetic copper supplement as it can throw off your zinc balance. The secret is food. Your takeaway here is to look at your diet and ask, where is the copper? Try adding a handful of cashews or a square of high quality dark chocolate to your afternoon routine. It's a delicious way to ensure the artist in your scalp has the tools to keep working. As we go deeper into our secrets, we have to talk about the nervous system. We have all heard the old wives' tale that stress gives you gray hair. Well, it turns out the grandmothers were right, and the mechanism is terrifyingly direct. When you are under chronic stress, your body floods with a neurotransmitter, norepinephrine. This puts you in fight or flight mode. But here is the tragedy for your hair. That norepinephrine interacts specifically with the pigment producing stem cells in your hair follicle. A groundbreaking study published in the prestigious journal Nature by researchers at Harvard University mapped this out. They found that norepinephrine causes these precious pigment stem cells to overactivate. They differentiate too quickly, migrate away from the follicle, and are essentially used up all at once. It's like a bank run where everyone withdraws their cash at the same time, leaving the vault empty. Once those stem cells are gone, they don't come back. The woman with the youthful hair isn't necessarily living a stress-free life that's impossible, but she manages her reaction to it. She protects her stem cell bank. She likely practices techniques that lower norepinephrine, such as deep diaphragmatic breathing or meditation. This isn't just relaxing, it is physiological preservation. So for your next step, I want you to view stress management not as a luxury, but as stem cell therapy. Take 5 minutes a day to do box breathing. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4. You are literally signaling your body that it is safe to keep producing color. While we are discussing the signals your body receives, we must address the fuel that keeps the lights on, vitamin B12. This is the energy currency of your cells. B12 is crucial for the production of red blood cells, which carry oxygen and nutrients to the scalp. If your blood is weak, your hair is the first thing to suffer because to your body, hair is non-essential tissue. It will starve your hair to save your heart. A deficiency in B12 is one of the most common yet reversible causes of graying. A study published in the Archives of Dermatology reported that many patients with premature graying had underlying vitamin B12 deficiencies. And remarkably, some saw repigmentation after correcting it. But here's the catch for us seniors. As we age, our stomach acid becomes weaker, making it incredibly difficult to absorb B12 from food. You could be eating steak every night and still be deficient. Our ageless friend likely has a gut that absorbs well, or she takes a methylated B complex supplement. Methylated is key. It means the vitamin is already broken down and ready for your body to use. Your actionable advice here is to ask your doctor to check your B12 and homocysteine levels. If you are on the lower end, consider a high quality sublingual B12 supplement. Think of it as premium fuel for the delivery trucks, bringing nutrients to your scalp. Now, let's pivot to a factor that is almost entirely mechanical, but critically important, blood flow. You can have all the copper, catalase, and B12 in the world floating in your bloodstream, but if the road to the hair follicle is blocked, those nutrients will never arrive. The scalp is the highest point of your body, fighting gravity every second of the day. As we age, the tiny capillaries feeding our hair follicles can atrophy, and the scalp can become tight and calcified, a process sometimes called scalp tension. Research published in the Journal of Plastic, Reconstructive, and Aesthetic Surgery has highlighted the direct link between subcutaneous blood flow and hair follicle health. When flow is restricted, the follicle creates a miniaturized, unpigmented hair. The woman who defies aging likely stimulates her scalp. She might brush her hair vigorously, or perhaps she massages her head while shampooing. She keeps the soil loose and the irrigation channels open. Imagine your scalp is a garden hose. If there's a kink in the line, the water stops. Massage unkinks the hose. So here is a simple habit to adopt. Every morning or evening, spend 2 minutes massaging your scalp with your fingertips. Move the skin over the skull. You want to feel warmth spreading. That is the nutrient-rich blood rushing back to the dormant factories. If you are finding these connections between your biology and your appearance helpful, please take a quick second to hit that thumbs up button. It helps us share this message of empowerment with more people just like you. Let's look at another hidden enemy that might be accelerating your aging process, Sugar. We know sugar is bad for the waistline, but it is also a poison for hair color. This happens through a process called glycation. When you have excess glucose in your blood, it binds to proteins to form sticky, destructive compounds called advanced glycation end products, fittingly acronymed as AGEs. These AGEs stiffen the collagen around your hair follicle and create oxidative stress that damages the melanocytes. A study in the British Journal of Dermatology found that oxidative stress and glycation are key players in the aging of the hair unit. Think of it like rust accumulating on the gears of a delicate watch. The more sugar you eat, the more rust you create until the gears just stop turning. The woman with the raven hair likely treats sugar as a rare indulgence, not a daily staple. She protects her protein structures. The takeaway is tough but necessary. Swap the morning pastry for a protein rich breakfast like eggs or Greek yogurt. You are not just managing your weight, you are rust proofing your pigment cells. Moving on, we have to talk about the master antioxidant glutathione. If Catalase is the cleanup crew for bleach, glutathione is the fire department for the entire body. It quenches inflammation and protects the melanocytes from burning out. However, our natural glutathione levels plummet as we get older. A study in free radical biology and medicine established a clear correlation between low glutathione levels and the acceleration of aging markers. If your glutathione is low, your cells are left defenseless. Our model senior keeps her levels high, likely through sulfur rich foods. She's eating onions, garlic, leeks, and cruciferous vegetables. These foods provide the precursors your liver needs to manufacture glutathione, but there is another secret weapon she might be using, N-acetylcysteine or NAC. This is a supplement that acts as a direct precursor to glutathione. Your actionable advice is to look at your dinner plate. Is there something sulfurous on it? Aim for a serving of the stinky vegetables every day. They smell strong because they are strong medicine. We also need to shine a light on the thyroid. This butterfly-shaped gland in your neck is the thermostat for your metabolism. It dictates how fast your cells work, including the cells that make hair color. Hypothyroidism, a sluggish thyroid, is rampant in women over 60 and is a classic, often missed cause of premature graying and thinning. A study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism detailed how thyroid hormones directly modulate hair follicle pigmentation. When the thyroid slows down, the hair cycle stalls and pigment production becomes erratic. The woman with the thick, dark hair has a thyroid that is firing on all cylinders. She supports it with key minerals like selenium and iodine. Did you know that just 2 Brazil nuts contain your entire daily recommended allowance of selenium? It is the easiest nutritional fix in the world. So, your task is to grab a bag of Brazil nuts, eat 2 and only 2 a day. It's a tiny habit that keeps your metabolic thermostat set to youthful. Let's not forget the environment, specifically the sun. We are conditioned to put sunscreen on our faces, but we often leave our hair completely exposed. UV radiation is a massive source of oxidative stress. It damages the hair shaft and, more importantly, penetrates to the stem cells in the scalp. A study in photochemistry and photobiology showed that UV radiation degrades hair pigment and proteins, leading to what is essentially photo bleaching. If you are out gardening for hours without a hat, you are subjecting your scalp to a radiation bath that kills pigment cells. The woman who has maintained her color is almost certainly a hat wearer. She treats her scalp with the same reverence she treats her face. It is a simple physical barrier. Imagine leaving a colored shirt out in the sun for a month. It fades. Your hair is no different. Your action step is simple. Find a stylish, wide-brimmed hat and make it your signature look whenever you step outside. You are physically blocking the radiation that ages you. Finally, we must discuss a hormone that works the night shift, melatonin. We think of melatonin simply as the chemical that makes us sleepy, but it is actually a potent antioxidant that works specifically on the hair follicle. Hair follicles have melatonin receptors. A study in the International Journal of Trichology discussed how melatonin acts as a cytoprotector, shielding the hair follicle from oxidative damage during the growth phase. When you don't sleep well, or when you expose yourself to blue light late at night, you suppress melatonin production. This leaves your follicles defenseless against the free radicals accumulated during the day. The woman who defies aging prioritizes her sleep sanctuary. She is asleep by 10 p.m., allowing her pineal gland to flood her system with this protective hormone. Think of sleep as the night shift maintenance crew. If they don't show up because you're watching TV, the factory falls apart. Your actionable advice is to strictly regulate your light exposure at night. Turn off screens an hour before bed. You are not just resting your eyes, you are enabling a biochemical repair process for your hair. We have covered a tremendous amount of ground today. The secret of the woman with the gray free hair isn't magic, it is metabolic mastery. Let's recap her protocol. She clears out the internal bleach with catalase rich foods like broccoli. She paints her hair from the inside with copper from cashews and liver. She protects her stem cells from stress with deep breathing. She fuels the delivery trucks with vitamin B12. She keeps the roads open with scalp massage. She avoids the rust of sugar, boosts her firefighting glutathione with garlic, supports her thyroid with Brazil nuts, blocks the UV rays with a hat, and maximizes her repair time with deep sleep. I know this list might seem long, but you do not have to do it all at once. Health is a momentum game. Start with the Brazil nuts, start with the scalp massage. These small inputs stack up to create a massive biological signal that tells your body, we are not done yet. We are thriving. Your body is incredibly resilient. It is constantly listening to you. If you have noticed graying, see it not as a sentence, but as a notification, a request for support. You have the knowledge now to reply. I would love to know which of these secrets surprised you the most. Are you going to try the copper-rich foods or perhaps the stress reduction techniques first? Let me know in the comments below. And please, if this video gave you hope and a plan, like and subscribe to the channel because your health is worth fighting for, and I want to be here to fight right alongside you. Until next time, remember, you are the architect of your own vitality.